Hey everybody, hope you're having a good day today. So, let's catch back up on our review series. As we left it off, we did Attack of the Clones. Now on to my favorite Star Wars movie, Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. But how these reviews work, since it has been some time since I've uploaded, in this video we're just going to be talking about the movie, doing a quick summary, and I'm going to be giving it a rating out of 10. And then in a separate video, I'm going to be getting more in-detailed, more specific scenes, parts that I really like, and we're going to elaborate more on those. So this is just a quick, well, probably won't be quick because I really like this movie and I got a lot to say about it. But just a summary of the movie and my thoughts on it and my ratings, of course. And I have to say, this is probably the best opening of a Star Wars movie, maybe of any movie, because this opening is amazing. We get like a 10-15 minute dogfight, star battle, ship versus ship, cruiser versus cruiser, in outer space, right outside of orbit of Coruscant. So General Grievous and Count Dooku have captured Chancellor Palpatine and are holding him hostage on a ship. And they send Anakin Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi to go rescue him. And in Attack of the Clones, Anakin and Obi-Wan is like a father and a son relationship. In this movie, they're like brothers. This first mission, where they're going to rescue the Chancellor, has more character building between both these characters, more showing of their relationship than the entire movie of Attack of the Clones did. Like, I'm watching this movie, I'm like, holy crap, what a start. Then Anakin and Obi-Wan make it to where Chancellor Palpatine's being held. Turns out Count Dooku was waiting for them. So he flips down and they engage in a lightsaber fight. Obi-Wan's like, this time, let's do it together. Anakin's like, I was just about to say that, Master. Obi-Wan gets kind of kicked and knocked out, thrown to the other side of the room. So it's just Anakin and Count Dooku, a 1v1. And what I really like about Anakin's character in this movie is they make him more dark. He's not a kid anymore. He has that scar across his face. He has his long hair. He's got dark clothes. You can really just get a Darth Vader feel off of his character already. Anakin does get the better hand of Count Dooku, chops his arms off, has both of his lightsabers. He's about to, like, you can see he wants to just end it all. But he's like, you know what? I shouldn't do this. This is not the Jedi way. And then Chancellor Palpatine says something that's brought up at a later part of the movie. I'm going to go more in details of that in my specifics, things that I loved about it. He's too dangerous to be kept alive, is what the Chancellor says. So Anakin cuts his head off, and you can see the second he does it, he's like, why did I do that? And just the screeching of the lightsabers, it's like just jarring on your ears. It's like this terrible sound. It's like, he messed up. So the Chancellor and him, they're about to leave. They notice Obi-Wan still is unconscious. Anakin goes for him, and then Chancellor's like, leave him or we'll never make it. And then Anakin's like, his fate will be the same as ours. Really showing how Anakin's character has grown, how he's so selfless. He really thinks of Obi-Wan as like a brother to him. And if it's going to sabotage the entire mission of getting the Chancellor back, as long as Obi-Wan can bring his brother, mentor, master back, then that's all that means to him. Because he's pretty much, besides Padme, that's all he has is Obi-Wan. So they get into a little tussle. General Grievous escapes, and turns out the ship kind of breaks in half. So Anakin, Obi-Wan, R2, and the Chancellor have to have a crash landing on Coruscant with the ship, with half a ship. But anyway, Anakin reunites with Padme. She tells him he's pregnant. At first he's like, oh, and then he's like happy, then he gets sad, and then he gets happy again. I'm assuming, his first reaction was like really happy. What is the council gonna do, like, if they find out? So, but then of course gets happy again, because of course he hasn't seen Padme in so long. They get to be together again finally. But then Anakin keeps having these dreams across this movie of Padme dying in childbirth, And, you know, of course he had those dreams about his mother, and those dreams came true. So who knows, maybe Palpatine, I'd like to think Palpatine was planning these dreams in his head just to get him on the edge. So of course he tells that to Padme, and Padme's like, oh, we'll get through this, you know? Of course, after Chancellor Palpatine brings Anakin in, he's like, you know what? You have so much potential, you know? You're gonna be my personal representative on the Jedi Council, you know? You'll be a master and everything like that. And Anakin's just obviously he didn't show much emotion, but you know, of course he was overwhelmed because that's all he wanted to do when he first got taken in by Qui-Gon and learned about the Jedi ways. He wanted to be the best. He wanted to be the youngest master in history. He just wanted to be the greatest at what he did because he is the chosen one. So Anakin brings that up at the council. Mace Windu says, you know, of course, you're on the council, but we do not grant you the rank of master. You know, and then of course Anakin's like, what? That's outrageous. It's unfair. Pretty much gets schooled by Mace Windu, telling him to take a seat. Then they bring up the problem. General Grievous is still out there. Of course, Anakin's like, the Chancellor wants me to go get him. And Mace Windu's like, yep, we're not going to listen to you. We're going to choose Obi-Wan. The next scene is Anakin and Obi-Wan walking down the Jedi Temple. And Obi-Wan saying, look, there's been an assignment for you that you can't tell anybody. It's not on the books. We need you to spy on Chancellor Palpatine. We need you to... The Jedi don't trust him. He stayed in term for too long, and there's something with this guy. And since you're so close to him, we need you to be our eyes and ears. And if Anakin does this, he'll gain the Council's trust. He will, you know, probably be a master. And Anakin's like, this is not the way of the Jedi. Like, what is this? Like, I'm spying on someone? Are you kidding me? So Anakin and Obi-Wan say goodbye for the last time. I'm skipping over some parts, but like I said, just a rough summary. So Anakin and Obi-Wan say goodbye for the last time. You know, Anakin's like, you know what? I'm sorry. I was so hot-headed. I was not patient. You know, I was arrogant. And Obi-Wan's like, you're one of the wisest, strongest people I know. And one day you'll be a master. One day you will be a great, even though he is a great Jedi, you'll be an even greater Jedi. And then they say goodbye for the last time. And like watching that over again, knowing that's the last time they see each other as friends, that's a really emotional scene. Like it has a lot of power in it when you're watching it the second time, you know. The whole time Obi-Wan's in the sunshine and Anakin's just in the shadows. Like how that's framed is really cool. So from here on, pretty much Obi-Wan goes to Utapau and engages in a fight with General Grievous. And while that's going down, there's not too much to say here. Like, they get into a fight, they get into a chase scene, and they end up in a fisticuffs pretty much because Obi-Wan lost his lightsaber. Obi-Wan shoots him in the chest, blows him up, kind of, you know, tosses the blaster aside. So uncivilized. And just like that, General Grievous is done. He's a pretty cool character. Like I said, I'll expand more on him in the specific things because if I talked about everything in this episode, it would probably be like an hour long. So can't have that. But back on Coruscant, Anakin is of course getting roped in still by Chancellor Palpatine, saying, you know what? I know you've been having these dreams, you know. You ever heard the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise? But that's a pretty good scene in the opera when he's just stringing him in. He's like, this guy, Darth Plagueis the Wise, you know, he pretty powerful in the Force, and he could even stop the ones he cared about from dying. And Anakin's like, really? He's like, is it possible to learn this power? And then he's like, not from a Jedi. And also in this scene when he's telling him, he's like, it's funny, you know, he was actually killed in his sleep by his apprentice. He's like, ironic, isn't it? And he could save the ones he cared about from dying, but not himself. And then he has that little smug look on his face that only, you know, the audience like knows. Like, he was the apprentice, he's the one who killed, and he's just like, he's so happy, and it makes him so proud about it. But he can't, of course, tell anybody. But then in the next scene, he pretty much reveals that he's the Sith Lord. Him and Anakin are walking. He's like, oh, my master taught me, the ways of the Force. And I can teach them to you, This is only a dark side power. So learn from me, and then I can help you save Padme. And Anakin's like, wait, what? Draws his lightsaber out, and of course, Palpatine confesses that he is the Sith Lord. Anakin wants to kill him, and then Palpatine gets this really weird face, and he's like, I know you do. You have power. You have focus. And then Anakin runs off to Mace and says, look, Palpatine is the Sith Lord that we've been looking for. And then Mace Windu's like, what? He's like, actually? He's like, okay, I'm going to grab some Jedi. We're going to go arrest him. And Anakin's like, you'll need me to come. And he's like, no, you stay here. And if, this turns out to be true, you'll gain our trust. So Mace goes off and attempts to arrest Chancellor Palpatine, but he's just too powerful. Of course, they draw their lightsabers, and it's like, oh, he's still playing his character when he's like, oh, it's treason then. Like, he's still in that mindset that he's like being betrayed when he's actually the bad guy. I like to think that Palpatine knew Anakin was coming, so he lost on purpose, just to like, look how bad it looks. Like when you're going to arrest somebody and you walk in and the person's gonna kill him. So it's just the three of them, and Anakin is like, dude, you can't kill him. He has to stand trial. And this is where that line comes back from the original. He's too dangerous to be kept alive. So it's like the Sith, the Jedi, they're both saying the same things. He's hearing the same things. So he's like, what's the difference? Why not save the person who is going to save my wife? So Anakin makes a split-second decision. He chooses Palpatine. Cuts off Mace's hand. And then Palpatine goes on limited power mode. As soon as Mace flies out the window and Palpatine stands back up, Anakin's like, what have I done? And he just feels so much like, what did I just do? Like, oh my god, his whole life is done. But at this point, Anakin's life is over. People are like, oh, his turn is so dumb. No, it's not. He's been being roped in for 3 films, and he had to make a split-second decision between the person who's been abusing him his whole life, Mace Windu, he's been putting him down, or the guy who's been like a father to him, and has said, I can save your wife. Which one would you choose? So, of course, he does that, and then he's like, you know what, my life is just so gone right now. I pledge myself to your teachings. Whatever, I just need to save Padme's life. So he's like, you know what, you want to gain that power, you got to do bad things, The Jedi are now an enemy of the Republic. Go to the temple. Kill every single Jedi there. Man, woman, or child. They are dirt. They are scum. We need to get rid of them right now. And then he pulls out his communicator and says, Commander Cody,
the time has come. Execute Order 66.
And I'm getting goosebumps right now. You can't see that, but just, I can picture it in my head. The music, Anakin rushing to the temple, all of the Jedi just being betrayed. You get a huge scene of just clones turning on their Jedi commanders. And then meanwhile, in the temple, Anakin is slaughtering Jedi. He gets to the council chambers, and he opens the door, and there are like 15 kids there. Like, Master Skywalker, there's too many of them. What are we going to do? And then Anakin just, hold up. Then Anakin just ends it. Even just talking about it makes me really sad and really emotional. Like, I'm getting a little choked up right now. Of course, Obi-Wan and Yoda meet up, and they're like, dude, what the hell just happened? They get back to Coruscant, and they see all the dead Jedi, all the dead clones, all the dead younglings. And Yoda's like, not all these were done by a blaster, but some by lightsaber. So they check the hologram, and they see Anakin just literally taking on Jedi after Jedi, like choking a Jedi while he's taking on another Jedi. Just, I would love to see a scene of Anakin just mowing down the entire temple. I would love to see it. So Yoda's like, look, you gotta go kill Anakin. This Darth Sidious guy, he's too much for you. You're not ready, not right now. The Fall of the Jedi, the story of Anakin Skywalker is just one of the most tragic stories, one of the most powerful stories, I think, in cinema. Like, I think about it almost every day, and it just chokes me up every time. So Padme goes to rush off to go see Anakin. Obi-Wan stashes onto her ship. And, yeah, pretty much we see Yoda engaging in Palpatine. We see Padme getting... Oh! Anakin was sent to Mustafar, to kill all the Separatists, so to end the war. So, of course, we see Anakin, like, mowing down all the Separatist Vice Gunray. All those guys, they're dead. And then, of course, Padme gets there. Anakin's like, what are you doing here? Like, I told you to stay back there. And then she's like, you know what? Obi-Wan told me you did all these things. You killed younglings, turned to the dark side. And that's when Anakin just kind of snaps a little, turns into a little Darth Vader, shows up. And he's like, you know what? Screw Obi-Wan. Don't mention Obi-Wan. You know what? If I want, I could kill the Chancellor. And then we can rule the galaxy together. We won't have to deal with anything. And Padme's like, what? Like, this is not the person I fell in love with. This is not the person I had a baby with. Having a baby with. So she's like, I don't know who you are, but, like, you're breaking my heart. Like, who are you? Then Anakin sees Obi-Wan in the background. He just gets so much angry. He just force chokes Padme. Padme can't breathe. Obi-Wan's like, let her go. And then Anakin does, and she just falls to the ground. And then we get, of course, this good back and forth before the duel of Anakin and Obi-Wan. They're just circling each other. You know what? Anakin is just so far gone. You can hear him. Like, so they fight. Anakin is totally destroying Obi-Wan here. Like, he is all offense. Obi-Wan is literally surviving by the skin of his teeth, just blocking all of his shots. Obi-Wan is just pure defense here. I don't recall a single scene where it feels like he has the upper hand. Like, even when, like, he has him, like, pinned down, Anakin just flips, right, all of a sudden. And the thing, too, is you can tell their dueling style. You can tell that their dueling style is so similar. So they do the same move sometimes. And Obi-Wan jumps, of course, onto the top of a dirt, rocky mountain thing. And Anakin's like, you know what? I'm just going to flip, cut you in half, kind of like we did to Maul. And then Obi-Wan's like, don't try it. Anakin, of course, is so arrogant, he does it, and, yeah, Obi-Wan pretty much turns him into Fruit Ninja, and cuts off his leg and his arm, and leaves him there, burning in the lava. He takes his saber, of course, which he gives to Luke, he just leaves him there burning, and take Padme's ship back, of course. She gives birth to Luke and Leia, and then Yoda's like, we need to separate these kids, like, the Empire can't know of them. So Leia, of course, goes with Bail Organa. Obi-Wan take Luke to Uncle Ant. We see Aunt Beru and Uncle Owen. And of course, Anakin is being taken back to Coruscant, where he gets repaired. He is an inch away from death. So he gets put in this suit. And he is now Darth Vader. And him coming up, wow. His first breath, just wow, powerful. Like, every time I watch that, I get goosebumps. And of course, yes, Palpatine, you know, what happened to Padme? Bro, sorry, she's dead. And then he's like, what? No, she was alive, I felt it. And he's like, sorry. And then Palpatine was like, she's dead. That's when Anakin, Darth Vader. is like, no! And the last shot of the movie, of course, we see ObiWan watching in the distance as we see Luke and his aunt and uncle are staring off into the sunset, into the two suns, and the movie ends. Just like how the first one started. Poetry. This movie is art. It is amazing. I cry almost every time I watch it. I get emotional almost every time I watch it. Even thinking about it just gives me goosebumps. This is one of my favorite movies of all time. Definitely my favorite Star Wars movie. And I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. First ever 10 out of 10 on this channel goes to Revenge of the Sith. Now, 10 out of 10 does not mean it's a perfect movie. 10 out of 10s can have flaws. This movie, I mean, it could have given us more, but that's not really a flaw. Like, I would have liked to see more temple scenes of Anakin. I would have liked to see maybe more Jedi getting killed. Just pull on the heartstrings a little bit more. For me, this is a 10 out of 10. And like I said, 10 out of 10 is not a perfect movie. It just checks all the boxes that I look for when I watch a movie. It has action. It has some romance. It has, of course, the emotional parts in it. CGI is great. Effects are great. Everything just checks off this movie, and that's why I give it a 10 out of 10. Pretty sure most people like this movie. I know some people that don't really like the prequels, which I don't really understand, because I think the prequels are great. And especially this movie. It's my favorite Star Wars movie. But yeah, that's it for me. Like I said, guys, we got a lot of content coming on this channel. So if you guys love Star Wars, of course, make sure to keep up with all this stuff that I'll be bringing out. If your friends like Star Wars, tell them about that too. So like I said, let me know what you guys think about this movie. Keep a lookout for everything coming up. And I hope you all have a great and excellent rest of your day. And may the Force be with you always. Excuse me.